Serious. What tip or piece of advice do you constantly see that you strongly disagree with? Never give up. Sometimes you have to realize your efforts were futile and move on. Be careful not to overwhip your meringue. Almost every recipe that involves meringue will tell you this. It actually takes forever to overwhip meringue. I've only ever successfully done it because I literally tried so I would know what it looks like. This advice leads to chronic underwhipping. About 80% of the fails in our macarons are from underwhipped meringue. Cream can be easily overwhipped, or as I like to call it, surprise butter. That you need to clean your plate. If you are full, stop eating. Otherwise, I think you forget the difference between being full and being stuffed. That people only treat you the way to let them treat you. Sometimes an a-hole is an a-hole, and there's nothing you can do about it. Edit. Thanks to everyone for your thoughtful replies. And thanks for the awards, that's a great way to start the day. Health advice on Facebook. God help us. All the bullshit quotes about, don't let others dull your sparkle, other people don't understand what you're trying to achieve, if they don't benefit you cut them off. Most of the time these quotes just enable narcissists to be selfish and not consider others. Just don't be an asshole, it's not hard. When someone is upset or feeling down and people say, there are bigger problems in the world. Really isn't helpful at all. If a person is already feeling down, what good is thinking about more larger scale problems going to do for them? What doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Not true. Sometimes it makes you weaker too. Family is everything. Popping out a kid does not grant you knowledge on how to raise a child. Terrible people have kids and expect to be prioritized because, family, you can cut out toxic family members. You can choose your own family with friends who support you and give it to your straight. Life is too short to be chained to toxic people simply because you're related. That everyone needs to go to college. It's great for many, but isn't a good fit for some, and it is entirely possible to be successful without it. Telling new couples to not go to bed angry, that is BS. No one is going to come to a logical and peaceful resolution in a disagreement while they are tired, disillusioned, and irritated. Even hostage negotiators know that sometimes you need to back away from the discussion and allow time for fresh air to pass. If you and your significant other cannot agree on something that is important to you both and it is getting late, agree to table the discussion for tomorrow. Go to bed and allow your sleep to relax and refresh your mind. If you don't cuddle that night, it is okay. The next day, you both will be able to hash out the issue with cooler heads and logical reasoning. Good things come to those who wait. Just play the game, especially in an office setting. There's something to be said for fitting in and getting along. We all have to make concessions for society to work. However, people who perpetuate the idea that your workplace is toxic and political by design and that the only way to navigate it is to be a sociopath are part of the problem. And we all know that person who says they're above the drama but they never do anything to quell it, nor do they ever stand up for anything they believe in for fear of starting shit. Nobody likes conflict. If voicing a reasonable opinion to a reasonable person or defending yourself against underserved criticism is starting shit, or not playing the game, then congratulations. You work in a toxic environment. I dunno. Tacit support of horrible situations just irks me. Blanket advice. Any advice that assumes it will fit everybody equally is advice to avoid in most cases. On the other hand, the best advice I have ever been given is to not listen to anybody for advice as it is tarnished by their own experiences. You can be anything you want if you just believe and work hard enough. They're bullying you because they're jealous of you. BS. Kids bully each other because they are evil. Time heals everything. Absolutely helps with perspective, but discounts all the hard work and intention that goes into healing. Man Up gets a special shoutout. Most of them in this thread there is at least some use for then. Man up just means, you're the wrong gender to be allowed feelings, shut up, which is literally always bad. Everything happens for a reason. Sometimes bad things happen, and all we can do is learn to live with it. Live every day like it's your last. Begrudgingly doing something because you think you'll miss out is pretty toxic and desperate behavior, not to mention selfish in certain situations as well as impulsive. I prefer, live every day like it's your first, meaning free of prejudices or judgment. You're an open book who is curious about your surroundings and also has no preconceived notions about the new things you'll encounter. Don't worry, things will get better. Haha, tell that to the people who cried for help only for help not come work for them. Some things do get better, but not everything. Our high school chorus director had a large group but no tenors. So he constantly advised bass baritones, keep trying to sing higher and eventually you'll be able to sing tenor. Since then, I've known other choir directors who've coerced baritones into attempting high tenor parts, despite the strain on their vocal cords, just to cover the part in performance. The end result was a chorus with baritones that had chronic sore throats and who were discouraged trying to do something unnatural for them just to please the director. Screw what everyone else thinks about you. You're perfect just the way you are. This one falls into gray area a bit, because while yes, you shouldn't judge your self-worth on others' opinions of you, sometimes it is a good idea to listen to what they have to say. Sometimes people just suck terrible personality, lack of basic hygiene, disrespecting others, etc. And they would benefit from changing so they don't hurt themselves or other people. How people view you is important, and how you behave and appear in public will affect how society views you. Sure, you can walk out of your house without having a shower for a month, in old sweats, and sneering at the morning sun, but most people will have a negative reaction to you. That's just human nature. So yes, you should feel free to present yourself how you wish, but don't expect everyone to accept you. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel. What if that light is a train? You can't love someone else if you don't love yourself first. I love my niece and nephews and sisters more than life itself. If I could just die right now, I'd celebrate. I hate myself, I hate the life I live, who I am, the way I look, everything. But damn if I wouldn't go to the ends of the earth to make my family happy. Don't tell me I can't love them because I don't love me. Money can't buy happiness. For prospective US-based law students, going to the best school you get in. I hear this time and again. This is really horrible advice for most people. Firstly, most people shouldn't be going to law school, period. Secondly, rankings only matter if the difference puts you in or out of a top 14 ranked school. These top 14 schools benefit from better employment opportunities with elite firms known as Big Law, and better opportunities with federal clerkships and academia. However, a lot of these jobs actually suck, like you will die internally suck. And going to these schools pretty much guarantees you'll have over $200,000 of law debt. So for most people that go to law school, which again, shouldn't be many people, I often say to go somewhere that minimizes your debt. That should be the biggest consideration for most people. Follow your heart, literally the worst advice to give someone. Your heart is deceptive and illogical. Never follow your heart unless your brain is involved as well. If you just do everything on a whim without any plan or reason, you'll get yourself into a lot different situations and 8/10 times they don't go well. Do not follow your heart. Everyone's opinion is important. Pretty much all of the essential oil advice, you know what they call alternative medicine, that's been proven to work. Medicine. Stay strong. No, I can be weak too, and that's fine. Live every day as if it were your last. If I knew today was my last day, I would be living very erratically and nonsensical. If this were every day, my actual last day might be in a prison cell. Blood is thicker than water. I'm not going to stay with abusive family if my friends are way better. Just because you popped me out, it doesn't mean I'm entitled to live you, especially if you're a shit person. Just be yourself. What happens if you are Hitler? I find the idea that every bad event holds a silver lining to be one that should definitely be used with moderation. Especially on issues that are more widespread. If you work hard enough, you can be the best ____ on earth. That isn't necessarily true. Let's say someone has no legs. He can't be the best soccer player on earth. Practice makes perfect. If you're not practicing something the right way, you won't be perfect at it. Respect elders. Just because people are older in age doesn't mean that they are smarter and deserve your respect. That's something that should be earned and should go both ways no matter the age. The deluge of advice everywhere on motivation and passion. The idea that motivation is a prerequisite to accomplish any task, goal, and that one must constantly be chasing this mental state of, aha, I'm finally motivated, let's get some work done. I don't find that to be a very useful axiom to base such popular advice. I find that sentiment to be damaging actually when it comes to mental health and productivity in general. Surely motivation in the general sense of the word exists. It's just not a reliable thing to depend in terms of being efficient or productive. I'm more motivated when I get things, and that boosts my confidence as well. Many a time action leads to motivation. Not vice versa necessarily. It'll all work out for the best. No, not necessarily. We just adjust to the new reality because we can't know how things could have been. Circumcise your infant sons because it's more hygienic. That's like saying to tear your fingernails off because dirt can get stuck under them. They serve a purpose and they're simple to clean, which you should be doing either way. Your son can make his own decisions to modify his body when he's an adult. Maybe not advice, but I hate when people say, "The moment I first laid eyes on my baby I immediately fell in love." People often share this to persuade others, who may be on the fence, to go ahead and have kids. Not everyone feels that immediate love and take time to develop it. Others are perfectly fine never having kids. It's dumb to sell parenting like it's a vacation when in reality it's very hard work that some people actually do regret. Let people decide on their own if they should have kids. Drink more water, more, even if you're not thirsty. None of the X cups per day rules are based on empirical evidence. Just drink when you're thirsty and you will be fine. If you don't have a rich social life with lots of friends, then there is something wrong with you. You say you don't want kids now, but you'll want them when you're older. We have to respect other people's values. Speak to the cannibals, slave owners and terrorists. They would be very delighted with this favorable social gospel of providing them the conducive space to perpetuate and propagate their murderous customs and creed. Why are we even clearing out cannibalism and cannibalistic tribes? There are things we just should not even condone, not to say, giving respect to those barbarism. Understand and empathize, maybe, but respect. Edit. Spelling. While the saying, "everyone is entitled to their opinion," isn't inherently false, it doesn't mean that everyone's opinion should be respected. Most everyone in America has access to the Internet, i.e. more information than you could process in a lifetime of study. Because of this, I think the saying should be, "everyone is entitled to an educated opinion." Don't be stupid. If you ignore them, they'll go away. When in the history of anything has that ever worked? Fake it till you make it. That you have to learn to love yourself first or no one will love you. It's such BS.